This podcast, project number 8, was done by Gabby Williams, Rebecca Stewart, and Sam Weston.
Why do you think Ian justifies the meaning with work?
I think that having that teaching approach is a system based on fear. Like when Rafe Esquith stated that the classroom should be an environment where students are comfortable and accepted. What exactly does he mean by there are no shortcuts?
It means that learning is not to be rushed. It has to be mindful of the work at hand and be patient. To focus and observe one's own progress. I think this also goes back to his own teaching and not getting too far ahead to where he leaves the students behind. Why do you think his hair catching on fire was a turning point for him?
Well, when his hair caught on fire, he didn't even realize it until his students pointed and screamed at him. He was so focused on helping one of his female students who was struggling so that she wouldn't feel left out. He was completely oblivious to everything else. That's what teaching should be completely about. Every student needs to be a vital part of the learning process. Is Esquith's idea of taking time out of class for some sort of lesson in the arts a good idea?
No student wants to sit in a classroom all day long. Creativity should be encouraged. Letting students express themselves not only gives them something to be proud of, but that break from the classroom is more likely to leave the student refreshed for a longer period of time.
Chapter 10 talks about teaching PE. When Rafe teaches his students the fundamentals of the game and the strategies for understanding the game, how can this be applied to other subjects?
We can apply this to other subjects by teaching the basic skills, first and building upon them with more complex problem solving.
His students seem to really respect him and trust in him. What does he do to get his students to feel so comfortable in his classroom?
He treats his students with respect and kindness, and that seems to be a goal of his, that his students always feel welcomed. By treating his students the right way, they send the respect right back to him. Do we as role models have a personal code of behavior and follow it, or do we just not want to get in trouble or get a reward?
We have to believe in what we're teaching the students. If we don't give them the positive reinforcement that they need, they won't be motivated to reach a higher level of moral development. If we just tell them what to do and we don't act on it, then they're not going to understand and they're not going to be able to move forward and become a better person, which is what we're trying to teach them.
In his teachings, Rafe mentions giving logical punishments. Do you think that that's a good or bad idea?
I think that it's a good idea, and what he means by logical punishments is that it has something to do with what he's the message that he's trying to get across. For instance, don't give a student a bunch of busy work because they've acted up in the classroom. That's not going to teach them what they did wrong. He suggests rather telling them, say for instance, if they've maybe been mean to someone else in class or said something hurtful to them, explaining to them, that goes along with the moral development, explaining to them what they did wrong and why they did it wrong, and, not necessarily coming down on them, but showing them in a way where they can learn from it and they're not just being told, you're wrong, and, getting them upset, and they're not going to learn from that next time and be able to correct the behavior. The source that we used to come up with these questions were all from the book Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire by Aries Podcast.